Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the One More Thing Tech podcast. As you can see, me and Adam are standing. You might be like, what in the world? What an intro. Why are they standing? All right, are they about to give us some really sad news? No, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, you're about to get the best news of your life. Right? Today we have a special episode lined up for you. I know I say we have a great episode lined up for you every week. No, guys, today is special.
It is.
Today we're not talking about any new news, any new leaks. We're just going back and looking back on how great this year has been. We're going to throw in some memories from over the year. We're going to throw in some of our best moments, some of our best stories of the year. And we're just going to look back. First and foremost, though, guys, through all of 2025, we started this podcast in March. In the last week of March this year, and you guys have just helped us grow so quickly, so fast, and all we can do is just say thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
We would not be here without you. We truly love and appreciate each and every one of you, especially the haters, right? Everybody who yelled at us on TikTok and made us better from there.
Mostly
everybody
me.
who yelled at us on Instagram and everything else. Guys, we appreciate you, right? And we're looking forward to making new memories in 2026. Sorry, guys. As you can tell, I'm not prepared to jump over into the new year. But Adam, do you have anything you would like to say to the people before we get into this extremely special last episode of the One More Thing Tech podcast this year?
It has been a crazy year for tech, a crazy year for this podcast. And I'm so excited, and I look forward to it every day. I mean, I drove through a blizzard, and I'm not even kidding with you.
He did. He's not lying. We might throw a video
terrible.
up right now.
I actually, what I sent you, Kwesi, put that in the podcast.
Yeah.
So for the YouTube listeners and watchers, there'll be a video put into it.
So this is what I'm dealing with so far. Jeez.
It is nuts. Yeah, it was like, it's got like 35-mile-per-hour winds, and it was so cold. My
First
jacket
time he
was
zipped up his
up.
jacket.
Yeah, first
That's
time.
kind of crazy.
In like a year or two. I mean, seriously, it is that bad out. So, yeah, I mean, it's so fun. We really appreciate everybody that listens to this podcast and comes to it every single week. I mean, you're here to listen to it, and we just love that. And we're going to keep pumping out episodes, and 2026 is going to be a big year of surprises from our podcast.
Yeah, you guys don't even know what's coming on, guys. Like, we have
had
so much
something
lined
for
up.
this year. We had pushing back, and you'll
Yeah.
understand why when it happens. That's all I got to say.
Next year, guys, I promise you, like, every milestone we hit, it's going to be awesome. You guys just wait and see. Just wait and see.
We have plans, and we're gonna unveil like some of them when we first start the first year.
Yeah,
So,
we'll let
now-
you guys know when it comes.
Kwesi pushed out last episode on Christmas Day. Appreciate that. One thing we're going to do is we're going to have this episode ready on New Year's Eve. So when you're home with your family, you have some time to kill, about an hour or so, you can listen to this podcast episode, and that's our goal. So we could hit the very last day of the year, the very last day of 2025 for you guys, okay? And also, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody for the podcast.
Yep,
and
Happy
your
New
friends
Year.
and family. Stay safe out there. I know we've had some crazy weather where we're kind of at. Actually, last night there was like 3 tornadoes near me, at least, and did not get damaged at all. There was surrounding towns that got devastatingly bad hits. I mean, there's houses that are down, places caught on fire and stuff. So I'm thankful that didn't happen to me, and I hope this doesn't happen to anybody else. And if you did get affected by it, I hope you get the help you need to get this fixed as soon as possible. Sorry, I get a little bit gray there, but we've had some crazy things happen. What I will say is, this has been so much fun. I mean, this started with an idea, and it was really hard to get a co-host, and Kwesi just happened to be listening to that conversation at the right time, and here we are. You know, it's been so fun. We have a whole packed event for next year planned. I mean, we're going to have some crazy things happen, and it's all possible because of you guys. So I thank you so much for the people listening to us every single week, even the new listeners, and keep listening. Tell your grandpa about it. Yeah, I don't care if he's old or your grandma. It doesn't matter. They can still listen. I mean, turn up their hearing just a little bit more than you need to, right? They can listen to this great episode and maybe get in tech for a change. I've seen some old people get into tech, and let me tell you, it surprises me, and they may surprise you as well.
Can I just say,
Okay.
my grandmother listens to the podcast, and I've
Oh, there
gotten
we
some
go.
great reviews. Right? So
Ooh.
if my grandmother likes it, sure, granted, she might be biased, right? But if my grandmother likes it, I'm sure yours will too. Especially if your grandmother has no idea what's going on in the world right now, you know? Like if she has no clue what the latest tech to buy her grandson for Christmas was, and you're really disappointed about that this year. I'm not. I'm not disappointed about that. My grandmother came through with a great gift. But if your grandmother needs to know what gift to get you, all she needs to do is listen to the podcast. You know, we dropped a list of gifts. Right? Adam sat down, so I'm going to sit down really quick. I don't want to be the only one standing. This is really awkward.
It's okay.
But, yeah. Hold on, let me fix my mic here. Hold on, I actually need to fix my pants. Don't mind me. Just give me a second. Here we go.
Okay. So as Kwesi mentioned, we're going to be going through not just new tech and new stories, and actually not any are going to be new. It's going to be our favorite stories 2025. Kwesi shot me a text, I guess, well, I have an idea for this episode. Let's make a little twist. Here's the idea. I said, okay, shoot. Let's just talk about some things that was our favorite of the year. And I said, I actually like that. I said, it might be a little hard to do this because there's a lot of stories.
A lot. Dude, narrowing it down yesterday.
It was hard.
I wish I had the idea beforehand. That way I'd have like a week to narrow it down. Oh my goodness. We talked about a lot this year.
Yes. So we went through some of our show notes, went through some articles online, and found some of our favorite topics of the year. Now, I will tell you, there was a lot of comments throughout the whole year of us bringing up certain topics with certain discussions that got a lot of hate and a lot of comments. And I suspect this will be the episode that has that more than any other episode because we're going to bring up some things that were very emotional to a lot of people, not just us, but the fans too. So we're going to bring them up again. You know what? I want you guys to pour your heart out and what you believe and what you think because it's not just what I think or what Kwesi thinks, okay?
Hey, if Adam's wrong, feel free to tell him. Don't tell me that my ego can't handle it.
I am not going to be upset for the hateful or people that don't like what I say. You have an opinion too, and you have the right to voice that. And just let us know because that brings up a good discussion because guess what? You may have that opinion that might change our minds. Who knows? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But just let us know in the comments below, okay? So the very first one I want to start us off, Kwesi. Actually, yes, I'll start this one off. So the very first one is... Let's just start us off with a banger, okay? My favorite kind of overall story last year was the Epic Games versus Apple.
Right.
And I want to bring this up again. We really did. And I'm going to bring it up again because this is just the best time to do that. You know, we've seen the whole... It's not even done yet as a case, I don't think, as a whole yet. They're still going back and forth, which is, to me, insane to this point. But Epic Games had a court case against Apple for their 30% cut on pretty much the in-app purchases and the purchase fees of apps in the App Store. And they weren't happy about that because it was cutting them profits from Fortnite and maybe Rocket League and all these other games. I think just Fortnite, actually. And they weren't happy about that. And it was, to me, a silly topic, a silly thing that even had to become a thing because everybody charges 30%. At least, right? Except the Epic Games Store, which is coincidentally their product, right? But to me, it just seems like it's a silly thing that this is even a thing. I get that price point might seem like it's high, but 30% is not too much when the developer gets 70%. I cannot stress this enough. If you're selling a product in a store and you get 70% of that product price as the not the consumer, but as the manufacturer, that's a really good margin. There's not a lot of places that sell things in stores that get that much. A video game, there's not a 70% margin on a game for developers, right? It's a lot less than that. So for an in-app purchase for a virtual currency item that costs them not much to make as a whole, if you're complaining about 70% of that goes to you, I do not get that and I never will. And not yet has anybody convinced you of why this needs to happen besides Epic's little posse of people that say things, right? If you guys do not know, I am not a fan of Epic Games. I'm just not. Because of their...
But he is a fan of Fortnite.
No.
The game. You're not?
No.
Oh, never mind.
No, I mean,
Everybody ignore what I said.
Here's why I get so upset about Fortnite more than anything else. I was an alpha member of that game, so I helped them test the game and all that stuff, right? It was not designed to be what it is today. That's not the point. It was more of a, like, you go gather resources, materials, build up your base, and defend against waves of zombies, not zombies, but the enemy and whatnot, right? And that's not what the game is at all today. It's a big battle royale thing with PvP and all this other stuff with twitchy people that build fast and all this other stuff, right? I can't stand that concept. You don't get matched properly with your skill level whatsoever, and it's just not fun in my eyes. Now, I'm not a huge fan of PvP in general.
Not fun?
No.
I mean, you're gonna upset a lot of people. Me
Good.
included. Let me tell you
Good.
something.
It's not.
Let me tell you
It's not
something.
fun.
It's not fun because you're playing the wrong mode. How often do you play zero build?
I know about Zero Bro. I know that. That's not the issue.
Did you know that they just
That
added
just takes away
Lego
one
Ninjago?
problem.
No. They just added Lego Ninjago to Fortnite. All right. So now, no matter what decisions they make moving forward, Fortnite is the greatest game of all time, second only to Minecraft.
You forget Stardew Valley, but okay.
You're not listening.
Here's my point.
They added Lego Ninjago.
Removing build is only one issue with the game. That makes it a little easier, yes. But if I am constantly getting wrecked from twitchy, sweaty people, is it fun? No. You put me into a match of people my skill level and my KD ratio, and that can get better. That is how you should do it. And they don't do that at all. I get put in, if I last 10 minutes, I'm lucky. From some sniper far away, or someone in the bushes, or someone hiding, or someone spawn killing, whatever it is, it does not matter. There's always people that are just way better than you, no matter what you play, and I get that as a whole for PvP. But you put people in the right matching so that way I can improve. If Kwesi says, okay, I want to cross the road, this is my first time doing it, but I'm going to go to an interstate with 55 lanes. And that's my first attempt of playing, or me crossing the road, right? Are you going to do that? No, that's insane as a concept. So why would I enjoy a PvP match of people far better than me to get wrecked really quickly with no progression that I can ever even achieve because my attempts will fail? You see my point? If they put better matching into it, it would be a better game. The graphics, nice, I get that, right? I'll give them that. They have some nice features of the game, I give them that too. But at the same time, it does not meet what I would call fun. It's just like going to GTA Online. I spawn in 4 seconds, I get shot by an RPG, ran over by a bus, whatever it takes to kill me as fast as possible. How is that concept fun for anybody? Right?
It's frustrating. And sometimes being frustrated, like sometimes playing people who are better than you is fun. Not if you're my little brothers, but
Never to me. Just give me the opportunity to get better at a game. And you can't get better by constantly getting wrecked instantly. That's the point. It's just like a handgun versus sniper rifle. You're not going to win that, right?
I don't know.
If
the sniper rifle's up close, you probably have a better chance with the handgun because it takes so much longer to rack and everything.
That's possible. I'm just saying, like, as a whole for me, I wish it was a better progression system and so you could get matched better with people at your skill level. Is that too much to ask? I mean,
but
they
also,
obviously have more money now because they won this court case for the most part, right? So now they should have more funds to put something like that in, but they don't care because they're Epic Games. They're a great little company with awful concepts of what they do as a company. And if you agree with that, let me know in the comments because here's the thing. Even people that like Epic Games' games and what they kind of put out are agreeing that they are just on a slippery slope of disaster as a whole. And here's the thing about this. I don't get how a company as little as Epic Games could even pose a case compared to Apple. They're tiny. They're minuscule. They don't do nothing compared to Apple. How could they even bribe a judge? And that's the only way I can imagine this ever happened. It's just like from the TV show Goliath. You sound bought. There's no way that a judge could listen to this case and say, you agreed when you signed to be a developer with Apple to a 30% cut. And now you don't agree and you're going to avoid that little contract and then now force them to remove this fee. Does that not sound insane? That's like me getting upset that I bought Burger King and it's not McDonald's and I want to sue Burger King. It's that silly to me. It doesn't make any sense that it was even a court case. Now, here's the thing. You might say, oh, you're just an Apple sheep. You're just an Apple sheep. You're the one that's going to always side with Apple. No, if this happened to Google or happened to Samsung or happened to anybody else, I'd say the same exact thing. And guess what? It happened to Google as well. And it's not fair for anybody because guess what? Apple, Google, and Xbox and PS5 and all stars have had to put out a platform to make this work, right? The cross-platform play online. You had to have the back end to have in-app purchases even occur at all, and all this other stuff. And there has to be a fee to offer that to developers. Now, Epic's like, I want that way. I want to make all the money, and you make nothing. That makes literally no sense. And if you have any ideas against this, I want you to do your best in Discord in the comments to explain to me why this makes sense to you. Is it that the fee is just too high and needs to be lowered? Okay, we can maybe work with that. But you cannot say, I want nothing to go to Apple or anybody that I have as a store. That's insane. That's a silly concept because they have to make money to provide you that platform to do what you do on, right? It just has to be like that way. So to me, now they have this little workaround where you can go to purchase this game through Safari or whatever else you use your browser and then bypass Apple's 30%. So I think that's a silly, stupid thing. Now, here's the thing. Okay, maybe you could set up so you could do both. But even that, it's silly because that just defeats the purpose, right? I guess. To me, it's a dumb thing that this is happening anyway, and Epic won this part of it. I think it's so silly. And they act like they're like working with Europe to just force Apple to change the way they do anything, right? And it just it boils my blood, is what it does. Because Kwesi, like, what would you say to an individual? Let's say it's a local city government. They listen to your podcast, right? It's a great podcast, but you know what? We have to tweak it so you can, talk about how wonderful that the city water system is, who we choose for electricity, it's so much better than what you're talking about. And you know what? Guess what? To make things a little better, you actually have to stop text stuff and talk about this only because, your podcast is recorded in this county. You really have to do that. And you know what? If you don't, furthermore, your ad revenue that you make, we want 82% of that. And, you have to do this. And if you don't like it, well, just tough. I mean, would you be acceptable to that demand from another company and just a shift and change in how you do your business? What would you say to that, Kwesi?
So here's the thing, right? It's not like the shift for Epic just kind of came after they were already on the App Store. It's not like they were on the App Store and then Apple was like, hey, I know we've been doing it like this for a while, but now you've got to give me 30%. Otherwise, X, Y, Z. That's not what happened. They knew what they were getting themselves into beforehand. So I can't defend Epic Games here.
That's the silly part about it. It's one thing if Apple changed this after they've been developer for years, right, or whatever. But they didn't. It is a clause. As a developer with Apple, here's the terms and conditions and policies you agree to. If you agree to these, you become developer. And they said yes. And then they said, oh, I want more money. That's what it comes down to. That's
But
to
who doesn't
me,
want more money? You know?
it's just greed though, because they're not getting nothing. They're getting more than Apple is. Apple's taking 30, they're getting 70. 70 cents per dollar they're getting. If you cannot agree to that, that's called greed, and that's just being it's a whole cluster of just I can't stand that people. That's what that is. Stop it. Stop being super super greedy. If it was you're making 30%, Apple's making 70%, okay, you have an argument. But they're not doing that. I think it's a fair assessment to do because guess I'm going to say things over and over and over. I'm going to get super mad here. All I'm saying is I think this is a silly court case. I don't think it ever even got fully finished, correct? That just certain things were accomplished with it, but I don't think it's done yet, is it, Kwesi?
No, let me check.
I don't think it is. I can't stand this. I just can't stand this.
Ended in a mixed result, but mostly a win for Apple, as a judge found that Apple wasn't a monopolist due to its anti-steering rules. Voted, or, but, sorry. A judge found Apple wasn't a monopolist, but did rule its anti-steering rules, which was backing links to outside payments, violated California law, which forced them to change it.
Doesn't shine they come from that state where it's all wacky as a whole anyway for the justice system. I mean, it just really is.
Whoa. California
It is.
has the most people in the U.S. Let's not upset them.
It's just I'm not saying people, the justice system in California. It's just a bit wacky. I mean, as a whole, in most of the United States it is too, but in California,
Yeah, I would agree. In most of the
they
United
do
States,
some wacky stuff. Right? I think we can all agree with that. Even people in California can agree with that. It's not fully.
Did you see that literally everything in California is known to the state of California to cause cancer?
Yeah, especially the California air. Just look at
Dude,
the air in California.
I was in San Diego the other day, right? For the first time ever, I decided to look at the air quality. Tell me why it said it was dangerous to breathe. I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
I can't be in a place where it's dangerous to breathe.
There's lots of forest fires too, which doesn't make it any better. But I heard recently in California there's been a lot of flooding too. Is that weird? Is that an issue?
Yeah, there was flash flooding here in Sacramento the other day.
Really?
And now it's 32 degrees out here. Mind you, I came to California to get away from the cold.
Hey, 32 degrees is still far better than right now.
No,
here.
I'm coming back to Chicago. And
you don't want. Yeah, but we're coming back. It's going to be far better than it is right now. I promise you.
No, it's not, because it's going to be the mid-January. It's going to be in the thick of it. Actually, it's going to be the worst month possible. Because here's the thing, right? There's not even anything to look forward to in January, right? There's nothing I can say. Oh, at least Christmas is coming.
But you can, though.
At least Dr. Martin Luther King Day is coming. No.
Another episode of the One More Thing Tech podcast.
That's not enough to brave the cold.
I know. It's terrible.
I hate the cold.
I get that. But hey, 2 days ago, yesterday here, it was perfect outside until the bad storms.
Do that to you. It'll make you
It's
think.
50-some degrees and light wind. It was nice. Okay. Anyway, I just want to bring up that to me, that's probably my overall biggest story of the year. 2025 is Epic versus Apple, and I have mixed feelings with it. Of course, you can see. I'm just trying to find a reason to see what makes sense from the Epic side other than greed, and it's just I can't. And help me if you have any ideas. Let me know what you think, because it's just to me a dumb case that was put with our tax dollars to waste our time, I think.
That can be argued. For my first story that I wanted to bring back, it's going to be something that we really didn't get this year, unfortunately. Ladies and gentlemen, this year we weren't promised anything, but we saw all the leaks of smart home hub from Apple, right? We were thinking it was the HomePad. it was going to be an iPad mini on top of the little speaker, and we never
Love
got
that
it.
device.
And it's really sad to me. Hold on, unrelated. The other day, I brought my iPad up to California, and it now has a massive shatter. I don't know how to fix it either. I've never fixed an iPad screen, so that's
The actual
not great.
screen?
The screen is cooked.
What happened?
I took the screen protector off,
Why would you
and I
even
forgot I
consider
have
that?
little children running around the house. Well, because I bought a new one. I bought a new screen protector. I took it off. The screen protector was going to get there that night.
So you just took
By
it
the
off
time it got there.
way before you got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was excited. Not great.
Okay, well, lesson has been learned, I guess. Learning has occurred.
So we're going to have to, we're going to learn to fix an iPad screen this upcoming year. It's going to be cool.
At least your battery isn't like
Dude,
you know,
like last
that.
year with my iPhone. Ooh.
Sorry, no,
That'd be rough.
that's a sensitive
I said last year.
topic.
It's still this year. But
Yeah, it did happen this year, didn't it? It did.
it's really unfortunate. Dude, I actually have a photo of what it looked like. Let me pull it up. Bear
While
with
he's
me,
doing
guys.
that, I did want to
When
talk
did I
about
fix
the
it, March?
HomePad. I think so. I'm excited for the HomePad, if that's what they're going to call it. It's a very nice concept for a device that lets you do Siri-like functions with having a speaker and home automation.
This was it.
Look
This is what my
at
battery
that.
looked like as I took it out.
it
Guys,
was
this
a
is supposed to
pillow.
be flat. Hold on, it's not zooming in. This is supposed to be flat.
Yeah, and it was way worse than that.
Dude, in person it looked so much worse.
It was.
It was scary that didn't blow up.
I was. Yeah, it was quite. Man, that could be an awful thing that happened to you, Kwesi, if it did.
Dude,
but
it
it
could
did
have been
not.
rough.
That was a very good thing.
Yeah, we thank the Lord.
Yes. The HomePad, though, I'm looking forward to that when it does get released. The rumors and speculations state that the reasons why we not get it in 2025 is because they had some issues with production, and I think there's a bigger issue that they don't really talk about, and that's a thing called Siri.
Yeah, Siri
This
needs
device
to
is
be
heavily
fixed.
reliant on Siri working a lot better, and they're waiting for that to just occur. So when Gemini gets put into it and some other stuff too, I think it's going to be a better Siri, and this is worth buying. Right now, I don't know if this is worth buying if it was out right now because of those issues. Now, hardware-wise, it's really nice. I get that. But you have to make that Siri work a lot better for this to be a better device overall, right? That's the issue with this. So, yeah, that's the HomePad. I can't wait for it, though. I think it's still slated to be $349 to $599 in that price range. So, yes, that is the HomePad. Oh,
That is the HomePad.
nice.
Adam, your next topic.
I have to. Oh, I don't like New York Times.
In the
doing this.
meantime, ladies and gentlemen, one day we might want to do a Q&A. So send your questions. Send your
Yes.
questions.
Ask OMT in Discord is the channel that you can put your questions, and we will go through those questions, accordingly, depending what they are, right, and go through that. So, New York Times has kind of put a topic out. Is Tim Cook, is his influencing with Apple as a whole for CEO of Apple fading as a CEO? Is his peak past and he's dipping as a CEO and into a not so good state? I want to bring that up because we have seen Tim Cook as a whole bring Apple to great profits and great product selections and all
That's
this
all
other.
about the money.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't
I should
mean
have said that
Tim.
order. I should
I'm
say.
sorry, Tim.
I should say, yeah. Tim Cook has brought Apple to its most profitable years and brought some amazing products. We questioned some of those as well, but I will say this: I don't think Tim Cook has got to the point where it's dipped it's too low and that he can't do anything anymore. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's this. Time and time again, one thing people don't realize about the iPhone is the iPhone is compared to itself in a way, because you had to make the next iPhone enough appealing where people are going to get it. Not just people like me and Kwesi, but people in general. Like, okay, I bought this iPhone 2 years ago, and why is this one better that I need to get this one instead? Right? Because it's not cheap to get these devices, even if it's Samsung or whatever else, right? So they're competing with themselves. So they have to make a product that's going to be better than what they had before every single year, and that goes for all their product line, right? And it's hard because you get to a point with what you offer for features and hardware where what can you do to make it a lot better? Like where the next product is going to be like, whoa, wow, I have to get that. You know, that's the hard part about Apple. So that's why I think they do these little changes here and there for software and hardware where it's not too much, but it's not enough to be, you know, well, that's not worth it. So I think that's where they're going to stay with us right now, and they're having a lot of issues with just supply chain and overall, well, employees at Apple, because a lot of them are leaving right now, and some of the great people are even discussing leaving right now too, and that's what's really hard. So you have to keep that little balance in place, and I mean, Apple's not losing the tech fight that they're in at all. I don't think at all. I mean, right now I'm using the M1 Mac right now, MacBook Pro, and it is a beast of a computer, even as old as it is. So what I gotta say is, Apple's not at a state where it's going that far downhill right now, which is a good thing. But one thing I'll say is Tim Cook, I do see what they're talking about is maybe his drive is not like it used to be. He's getting to that age of retirement. I think he's going to be retiring by next year, is my guess. I think it's what the rumors state too. Is he just at that point where he knows that his time is up with Apple and he has to pass what he's kind of built or somebody else? Is that the reason for it? It's a good question. Not quite sure yet. But overall, I don't think that what he's done and what he's doing now is a huge decline. I think he's just doing a phase where he has to wind down as a whole and not get too excited to do that pass off of ownership. So it's a little sad. It's a little bit exciting though, because I think the next CEO is going to be Jon Prosser, which is an incredible person what he does. I mean, just his confidence in the iPhone Air that won't bend in front of reporters. Right there, it's just that's the kind of people we need to run the company, because he just knows what he's going to do is going to be a great product, and that's what we're looking for in Apple, right? So I don't think, though, that Tim has just lost his edge. I think it's just a shift in what's happening in the world. People have less money. People have struggles of their own. And how can Apple make things better for them who struggle, right? And what features can they bring to people when they do get advice from them that's going to make it so much more worth it every year? And maybe the 2-year gap needs to happen, right? Maybe we have to wait 2 years now.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, good about the 2-year gap.
That was a rumor that was discussed recently.
I did hear that. That's a little bit controversial.
Here's the thing.
People like the fact that you can just go to it every year.
I agree, but Kwesi, hear me out. Would you be devastated if you had to wait a year to get a phone?
No, my phone works pretty well, and I like
because you didn't upgrade to the 17 right now, right?
This is true.
And
but the other day I was having some battery issues.
Well, I think it's an iOS issue. I had the same thing with mine too.
Then I updated my phone, so
I kind of, for me, yes, I want a new device every year, right? I'm not gonna say that's not the case. What I'm saying though is, you know what? Maybe we should get back to a time where we can appreciate our devices for more than 1 year, right? Because they're expensive, right? They really are. I mean, mine was $1,700 for the 1 terabyte. I would have got the 2 terabyte if it would have been for budgeting reasons, but I didn't know that was coming out. In any case, what I will say is that maybe the 2-year gap needs to occur because that gives them time to make some new features, knock out some bugs they may have with things, and overall just make the experience even better because now they're not rushed. Because guess what? Like, I know there's people in the back end working on things throughout the whole year to make things work great, right? I get that. But from the concept to putting things in place, to manufacturing it, to shipping it, to get it ready for purchase at the stores, and is a year time really necessary to make it perfect and wonderful for the experience? I mean, I think it's rushed, right? yes, they pull it for every year, and so does everybody else. But is that rushing things where maybe quality and everything else they could put into it is going to have to dip a little bit, right? We're seeing with iOS having some problems, right? Some hardware having issues across the board with every device, right? Maybe that's what we need to get to, is a 2-year cycle again, because that gives us, first of all, time to enjoy devices longer, right? And now when we spend $1,700 on a device, now we can actually enjoy it for 2 years at least. Now then again, that's going to hurt Apple in sales, right? But at the same time, it might be the move we need to make.
I don't know if it will, because the reason I don't upgrade every year is because every year is a small update, right? What's the biggest change from this year's iPhone 17 Pro from last year's iPhone 16 Pro? It came with a new camera, and it came with a new design, and
battery
that's
and chip.
about it. Yeah, and the vapor cooling chamber. But
yes,
to the regular person, all I see is that there's a new design, right? Last year, the change from the iPhone 15 to the iPhone 16, all I saw was that there's a new button if I'm a regular person, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like that'd be a huge upgrade if I was going from like a 12 Pro to a 16 Pro. That's a ginormous upgrade. You know what I mean?
It is.
But people who are coming from like a regular 12 and going to a 17, they're gonna notice that difference. They're gonna notice that new always-on display and all the new features. So I think people who are getting the base model aren't really upgrading every year. So I would assume that it's all a matter of, hey, how much money do I have in the bank account? How often do I feel like upgrading? Am I a tech enthusiast? There's a lot of factors that go into it, but a lot of people I know are not upgrading their phones every year. And then on top of that, I had a friend this year who wanted to upgrade from his iPhone 11. All right, of course the right thing to do is to tell him about all the new features, right? So he comes to me, he asks for help. I say, hey, Jake, I shouldn't have used his real name, but everybody knows his name's Jake now. I said, hey, Jake, for you, I'd recommend the iPhone 13, right? Because let me tell you something. First and foremost, he said he wanted to get a refurbished phone, right?
Before
that takes
you get
out
too
this
far.
year's models. Yeah.
Was there someone in the background drag racing by chance?
I did hear that. I don't know what
Sorry.
that was.
Completely.
I
I heard that.
a little bit confused.
It's okay.
A little bit.
Maybe we could
But,
watch that on the episode of Cops tonight. Sorry.
They can't do it here. In this neighborhood, there's too many speed bumps. I just don't understand what that was.
Well, when he hits one, you'll hear a...
You'll know. Sorry. What was I saying?
Sorry to interrupt,
He said he
Kwesi.
wanted to get a refurbished phone, right? And he was looking at the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 13, right? That's a pretty big jump, you know, from the iPhone 12, from the iPhone 11 to the 13 or the 14. Now, here's the thing. I cannot in good conscience recommend a 14 to anybody.
15 at least.
The 14 is the exact same phone as the 13. The only thing that changes is that it got a slightly faster chip from the Pro set, or not from the Pro set. It got an extra core in the CPU. You're not going to see any performance gains or losses. So, you know, he has an iPhone 13 now. Granted, I was going to recommend him I did recommend him the 15, but, you know,
That's what you should do
people to budge
because
all the time.
USB-C at least, right?
However, Jake recently came into a large sum of money. Right? Jake comes to me, hey, Kwesi, I want an iPad. Which one should I get? Hold on, let me tell you something that actually pissed me off. Let me show you what he sent to our group chat the other day. Right, so he bought the iPad Air like 2 weeks ago, right? I wanna come into money like this. This is what I'm. Hold on, give me half a second. He bought another iPad and a Magic Mouse. For what?
Which iPad?
I think this is the regular one. And then he sends, I have 2 iPads with this emoji. Oh, he's getting on my nerves. I want to come into money like that. I need money like that, Adam.
Well, maybe with this podcast, we'll see. Might happen.
I want to be able to flex on my friends and buy 2 iPads that I don't need. He didn't even need the first one. And then here's another thing, Adam. He bought the. So I was telling him about how sometimes I use my iPad as another screen when I'm not near a monitor. Right? He took that to heart and then purchased one. Hold on, let me. It's all
Just
in
for
our
that
group
reason,
chat.
huh?
Yes. Oh, it's starting to get on my nerves. He went and purchased a Mac. No, mind you, he didn't purchase the iPad for the handoff feature. No, he had an iPad already. He just purchased the iPad and he bought a MacBook for this handoff. Yo,
Hey, he's enjoying every bit of it, though, right?
absolutely. He texts us every day talking about how he's living his best life. I've been living this life for a while though. All I need now is my Vision Pro.
Ooh, I know. It's on the list.
Actually,
okay,
when I make my budget this year, that's going to be on the priority list of things I need to purchase this year.
I'd like to know your take on this topic. Do you think Tim Cook has reached his peak and he's dipping now as a CEO of Apple and tech and what he does and what he's done with Apple? Or is he just in a phase of transition?
Compared to, well, it's not his fault if there is any decline. I'm not saying there is, right? But we've been seeing that, some of the products are looking the same, right? I haven't seen much update to the MacBook, but then again, what are you going to do to the MacBook? What are you going to change? You know what I mean? So that's not the important part. The important part is, I think as long as Tim Cook is doing Tim Cook things, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, this guy revolutionized? Is that how it's said? Revolutionized? Revolutionized
it works.
the way the supply chain works for Apple,
Yes.
to where they have dang near no losses, and it's the quickest thing ever. I think that puts him in the argument for greatest Apple CEO of all time. Granted, you're not going to beat out Steve Jobs for that, but the other 6 Apple CEOs that did jack
he
with this
definitely
company,
does.
like, yeah,
He definitely
Tim
beats
Cook,
Steve Jobs every way.
the visionary founder of Apple,
Yes.
beat Steve Jobs
Okay.
out. He wouldn't have a job
hold on.
if it wasn't for Steve Jobs.
Hear me out. Can you honestly say out loud that if Tim Cook was CEO of Apple at the time that Steve Jobs was, that he would not have made incredible choices at that point and brought Apple even further than they are now?
Absolutely not.
I think it's
disagree with that
absolutely
statement 100%.
You have to. People. And I'm not saying Steve Jobs did nothing, right? He did a lot of stuff to bring Apple where it is today. But he
He
was
did
not
everything to bring
the.
Apple where it is today.
No.
He
Steve
hired all the
Wozniak
right
did a
people.
lot more than Jobs did.
Ooh, I don't know. That's
Oh,
a crazy
yeah.
take. Because listen, who else do you know was walking in to every room every day, making sure that everything was? He did a live demo with the iPhone that he knew wasn't ready.
But you had to also understand the way and the approach that Steve Jobs had for what he did was a tyrant of what he
Yes,
did.
and it
People
worked.
feared him, and not just like they trembled. Like during his keynotes, there was a moment where like an iPhone didn't work, or I think it was an iPad. And he
No, it was
threw
an
it
iPhone.
at one of the people and said, "Get another one." Like that approach doesn't work today, and it never will, right? And there was a lot of
Doesn't work
choices that he
because
made
he's
that
no
just
longer
worked
with
out well
us.
for him. But like, I don't think without Wozniak and some people behind Steve Jobs, it would have been where it's at today, because they had to push him so much to do certain things. Like, do you know that the iPod that he was trying to make, there was choices made that from Steve that if it was the case, it would have been a terrible product. And they pushed him to redact those choices to make it what it is today. I mean, even the iPhone, the iPad concept. I mean, look, we're going to get a MacBook probably next year, Kwesi, or this year, that's going to have a touchscreen on it. Steve would have never, ever allowed that, ever into a Mac. Right? Do you think Steve would have
And
ever
it
made a
shouldn't
Vision
be
Pro?
allowed. Yeah,
And that's
the
it, we
Vision
need to
Pro was a
have that.
Steve Jobs project. The Vision Pro was a Steve Jobs project.
Yeah, not where it's at now, right?
It was being
to a
worked on before
concept.
the first iPhone.
What I'm saying is, I think the approach that Tim's taking with certain things has worked far better than what Steve did. And Steve had the ideas, right? He had that. But he did not have the supply chain side, like you said, right? He didn't have the, okay,
That's
here's
why
my
he hired
idea.
Tim
How do I
Cook.
do this? He didn't have that so good. Like right now, Tim Cook has that vision and he has the right amount of know-how to get things from an idea to where it's at as found product. He kind of lacked with that, right? He had the best team for that. He had a lot of people that are just kind of it's the people that support Steve that made Steve what he is. I think people forget about that. Steve just had. I think the reason why I don't like him as much is because of his tyrancy and the way that there was just an interview recently. I can't remember who it was exactly.
Michael Jordan used to punch his teammates in the face.
That doesn't shock me at all, but that's sad to hear that. But my point is this. He just had this tyrant approach that was not necessary to do what he needed to do. He could have been a lot nicer to his employees. People left, people mocked him, all this other stuff. His approach was not always the best way to do it. So I'm trying to say, Tim though, although he does push people, I don't hear him being walk up to someone and throwing an iPhone at them saying, "Fix this, you useless piece of blank." That's the approach that Steve did. People forget about Steve.
You have to understand.
And look at the documentary
players.
from Jon Prosser. Did you watch that?
I did not.
That explains it all.
Is it the Tim Cook documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did watch that.
No, it's the video that is Tim Cook better than Steve Jobs or something like that is what it was.
Yeah,
that explains it a lot better.
Let me explain something to you.
That's
Adam.
what I'm trying to say.
Sometimes you have to be the one who's willing to get down and dirty, right? That's everybody's biggest critique of LeBron James, right? They say LeBron James wasn't dirty enough.
That's
right?
not my biggest critique
Michael
with him.
Jordan.
My biggest is his Space Jam sucked compared to the original.
Oh, I agree. I think that's something that's indefensible. You can't sit here and anybody who sit here and tell you with a straight face that LeBron James' Space Jam was better than Michael Jordan's Space Jam,
Incorrect.
I might be the world's biggest LeBron James fan, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you like that. It just wasn't the better movie. Space Jam won all the way.
I think Kwesi would probably buy that 3D printed basketball from Nike, or whatever it was, or not Nike, before he was
from Wilson.
Well, from Wilson, yes.
Yeah, I probably would because I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to get you to go watch a movie that, if you ask me, "Hey, Kwesi, which Space Jam should I watch today?" I'm not going to sit here and steer you astray.
Yeah,
I feel bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I trying to say? Sometimes you have to be the one willing to do the dirty stuff to elevate your team. Michael Jordan, he was a great player, yes, but he also brought those around him up, right? Sure, he didn't do it in the nicest way possible. He used to curse out his teammates at practice. One time, Steve Kerr hit a 3, so he got punched in the face, right? And I mean, Jordan, you know what I mean? It wasn't a love tap. It was, but that's what you have to do sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes to make your team better.
But for Steve, it wasn't just sometimes. It was dang near every moment of what he did. Here's my point.
You gotta be intense.
My point is this. Apple was successful when Steve Jobs was CEO. We cannot deny that at all. What I'm saying, though, is...
He came back at a time where they were flopping, where they were in the kiddie pool trying to do this.
And it was a hard time to be Apple, right? There was a lot of people that, with Windows and IBM and stuff, I get this. What I'm saying, though, is Apple never really took off as a company like it is today until Tim Cook was CEO.
What?
Oh my gosh,
just look at it. iPod, the iPhone 2G, the
I'm
iPhone 3G.
As a business and capital and what they do as a whole. As you said, supply chain was not as good. They had issues with keeping things in stock.
And then he hired Tim Cook, and Tim Cook came and fixed it. Granted,
yes,
but
that's my point.
The thing. Tim Cook doesn't make it to Apple if it's not for the great recruitment skills of one Mr. Steve Jobs. Right? Tim Cook's entire career is attributed to Steve Jobs.
What I'm looking at as face value as a whole of Apple with Steve Jobs and then Tim Cook, innovation was a lot better with Tim Cook, I think, right? He took risks that people did not take compared to Steve. And I think Steve had great visions and great ideas as a whole. And I'm not going to deny saying that he said it as a CEO with Apple. What I'm saying is I think he took an approach that wasn't necessary to do what he had to do. He could have done it a different way that made things a lot better for the workforce and everything else, because when I say that his deadlines were insane, it was just unbearable for most people. I mean, there was times he was working over 18 hours a day to make deadlines, and that at some point you're going to break people's spirit and everything else, and that's just not okay. Am I saying that Tim Cook has ever done that? He might have, but what I'm saying is, as a whole, it seems like that the force behind things and what they do for supply chain and everything else is a whole better suit in general, is what I'm trying to say overall. Because it's a different take. I think Tim Cook has more enthusiasm with certain things. And what I'll say is, I think Steve just had a bad hand at the wrong time, right? Maybe if Steve was CEO right now and that didn't happen to him, we could see how things go, right? We're at a different era of tech, and people like tech more than they used to when Steve was there, right? He was kind of at the very beginning of like,
Steve Jobs is the reason people like tech. Steve Jobs is the reason everybody and their mom wants an iPhone. Green bubbles. Nobody wants green bubbles, and that's all because of Steve. I just think you're not giving him enough props.
I'm giving him enough for what he had, right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
From the team he had back
saw
then,
what he took.
Okay, keep this in mind. There was no Apple Series chips for their Macs until Tim Cook was there, right?
Correct.
Right. The leaps that they took when Tim Cook was there, I think were better for Apple and the consumer base as a whole. So I'm trying to say, right? I think Steve pushed things a little bit too much to the point where, like, he pushed even AT&T to be a proper network back then when the first iPhone came out, right? Because it was only on AT&T, and there was issues even then. But I think that it's hard to put this into simple words. You know, what I'm trying to say is, I think as a whole, Tim Cook has done better for Apple than Steve did. That's just my opinion.
I think that's a horrendous take. I think everybody should fry you in the
Please do.
in the comments. I just think that's such a bad take.
Can you honestly say that as a whole, we're talking about from decision making to product design, development, releases, what products are available, where it is now for software sets, supply chain, the whole works, that Steve did a better job at that than Tim Cook?
Adam, you are using a Mac because of Steve Jobs.
This Mac specifically is not a Steve Jobs Mac.
You got to understand, the A-Series chip was Steve Jobs. When they released the first M-Series chip, what was it based off? It was based off the A-Series chips. It ran on that same ARC technology.
I get that.
Or not ARC, ARM. It's one of the two. I don't remember.
I don't know. But, when you see, like, I guess for me it's more this. When you see some of the back end stuff, and now you hear interviews and stories of people that work with Steve Jobs, and when you hear most people say they regret working with him, they couldn't stand it, he was a despicable person, human being, like the way he just, like his personal life was in shambles and all this other stuff, like that's the kind of stuff that just makes you question him as a person, right?
What? And Adam, you gotta understand. He basically made Pixar into Pixar, right? So it's not.
Yes.
We're seeing success over multiple things. I haven't seen Tim Cook be successful anywhere else.
Didn't they make F1?
That's what great players do.
F1?
Hey, let me
Apple
tell you
TV
something.
Plus, which is
all
not.
All he did was sign off on a paper that said, "Hey, yeah, we can do F1." Steve Jobs was in charge of Pixar. He made Toy Story. I just think you're not giving my goat enough. You're not doing it. Right?
You
use a mouse on your computer because of Steve Jobs?
Steve had his time to do what he did. Am I saying what he did was terrible? No, I'm saying is the approaches that he made to do it were questionable. We can agree with that, right? It's questionable. The reason why I say is because look at some of the recent interviews that's coming out, and even the thing from Jon Prosser, because that explains more of what I'm talking about. There's far more to it. You're looking at face value what the media and Apple wants you to see about Steve Jobs. And you got to look at both sides to understand my point here. Am I saying that Steve Jobs did nothing well to make Apple where it is today? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is I think Tim has done better at what he's done as a CEO because of what he's done and things that he's trying. Like, he has took on the movie industry, Kwesi, which people don't do much anymore, right? To do what he's doing. And look at what he's done with that. I mean, Apple TV Plus was kind of a failing thing to start with, and now they're making productions that you see in theaters, and they're getting so many, like Ted Lasso, and then you have F1, and other great things that's happening. Like, there's risk that he's taking that's making Apple better as a whole. But I'm just saying, look at that documentary that Jon Prosser put out, and you'll understand some of my points. What I'm saying is, as a person, he had radical views and just a tyrant approach that could have been eased on the employees and people that he knew to do better what he did. That's what I'm trying to say. So just look at that documentary from Jon Prosser, and then we'll chat about that in the next episode, because then you'll understand what I'm talking about, right? There's more to it than I think you understand, right? So, Kwesi, if I made a brand new phone, right, and I was a tyrant in doing so, can you honestly fully back every choice I made to make that phone? If it was a tyrant approach? Okay, so let's say that, like, okay,
if it becomes the
somebody
world's favorite
saw
product,
this phone before they were supposed to.
Share.
But someone saw this phone they weren't supposed to, and my choice was to shoot them in the face. But you don't know about that because it's hidden in the background.
Steve Jobs
it's
is not
radical.
going to shoot him in the face.
Never said this, he did, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is, if that's something you do not know that happened, right? That's a behind the scenes thing because of it's so locked down, and now I did to protect my IP and brand. But you don't know about that. If you heard about that later on, would you think that that's a radical approach? And now do you think I mean differently?
I think it's completely justified. Now I might sound like I'm being sarcastic here, but like,
wow,
dude, back when the dude, you have to understand. iPhone leaks were at it. Do you know how much Gizmodo paid for the leak of the iPhone 4?
Oh,
do you know how much money they paid?
I mean, thousands. I know that much.
And that was back in 2000s.
I know.
10s money.
I know.
Before inflation got like wherever it's at now. Like that was good money. Right? So I can understand.
Leaks is a whole industry in itself. I get that. And I'm glad that we don't agree with this, okay? And I would have said the same thing even a year or two ago, that Steve was like incredible what he did. And I'm not saying he's not. Do not twist this to that extent. He has done great things as a CEO to bring Apple where they are now, right? He almost turned from bankruptcy to making a whole brand that is just booming now.
The most iconic in the world.
I'm not saying that did not happen.
Think of a more iconic brand.
But some of the methods that he did to get to that were extreme and not necessary, where he could have done different approaches.
There's a method to the madness.
Okay, just watch the documentary, please, and you'll understand. That will explain it. Where I just want you to see both sides, right? I'm again in my life now, I look at both sides of things because, yes, I will side with Apple a lot of ways for certain things, but look at both sides of things so you can see as a whole picture, and then you can choose what you want. Think of it as a juror, and you can look at both sides. That's all I'm saying. Watch that, and you'll understand some things that he did, and you might understand then, right? That's all I'm saying.
Let's find out.
I mean, there's just things that he did that I don't think they're nice, and he should have probably done that he could have done a different approach to get the same result. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to give things away. If you guys have not watched that, it's from Jon Prosser. He is not a sponsor. He's not anything like that for us. But it's worth a watch. You guys can understand my point of view with this. That's all I'm saying. Okay? And then in the comments, let me know what you think. Who is the better CEO of Apple? Tim Cook or Steve Jobs? I'd like to know in the comments, please, what you think. This includes you, Kwesi. After you watch that, of course.
I agree that it was Steve Jobs. I'm so happy that we all are in agreement. I'm so happy about that.
Okay. Next topic, Kwesi.
Sorry, I was a little bit off. Let me
It's
calm
okay.
down
You
first.
know, it's fine. It's fine.
So actually, we're gonna spin back to a another topic. It's my turn, right? It's my turn to bring up this. I want to talk about the ROG Ally just for a couple minutes. We don't have to drag on. That was one of my favorite stories this year. The Ally X, great piece of
Yes.
technology. Sorry, I could not come up with the word if it punched me in my throat right there. You know, I have to say, I did go to Best Buy. I got my hands on it.
Which one?
The Ally X.
And they're both good, by the way. The Ally and Ally X. Let's
Yeah.
not.
I haven't touched an Ally yet.
I've not touched either of them yet.
It would be the next Xbox I purchase, unless there's a new Xbox that comes out within the year.
Now, hold up.
I think yes.
I just, sorry to interrupt, but I just want to clarify something with you.
Yes.
Would it sway your decision if you purchased the Ally X or the Ally, and there's games that you want to play that you bought on Xbox that you cannot play on this?
Yes, so I actually would.
Which
Especially if
happens.
it's 2K. I just
No, that's not both. So one little thing that they had an issue with, and they didn't really mention at all, which is an issue, is both of these, keep in mind, are a computer. Okay, so it's a PC Xbox, right? Put it
Right.
that way. So if there are games that are solely licensed just for Xbox game console, not the PC version of it, you do not get the license to play that on this device unless you have it on Steam or something else, right? So that's one major thing to know about this going into, if you're going to get one, is just know that. I'm not saying this is not a good device, so I'm just saying that's one thing they really should have discussed out loud, but they just didn't at all. So just put that out there. Proceed. Sorry.
so that's not great, but it is still a great story this year. I was very happy that they came out with
Me
something
too.
like that. We had seen the leaks, and I didn't know it was actually going to look as good as it did, right?
So how was it?
I'm a big fan.
How's
I'm
the
a big
interface
fan.
and stuff?
I do like the Xbox interface. Granted, that was the only thing it was locked into. I don't know how the Windows acts on it, but
Yeah.
it was very reminiscent of the Cloud Play app. Cloud Play, the Xbox Cloud app, if that makes sense.
So the one thing that I like about this a lot is, and when I mentioned that licensed game for Xbox only, you can't play on this. There are very little games now that are in that state, right? So
Okay.
this device as a whole brings together the ability to play, well, PC and Xbox games as a whole, right? For Steam is one thing, and then for Xbox. And the specs are just insane. And it's a 2280 NVMe, so that means you could modify it and potentially put up to 10 terabytes total in it, which is getting better. I like the idea that you can play just about your entire Steam library and Xbox library as a whole, and that is amazing. There's only one thing that lacks, Kwesi.
What is it like?
For $1,000, that needs
Should have an OLED
to have an OLED screen. That's pitiful. It doesn't.
Adam, I feel like that's the only complaint you ever have with technology.
Kwesi,
This is the most amazing thing ever,
Kwesi.
but it doesn't have an OLED screen.
You cannot tell me for $1,000 price tag, it cannot have an
agree.
OLED. Now
I
the
agree.
Ally, okay, IPS panel, do whatever you need to do, right? That makes sense. But for $1,000, that is probably the most expensive console there is, right? I can guess to date, right? And there's nothing more than $1,000 right now. Well, still with tariffs, but right now that's it. If it had an OLED screen, it would be enticing. Now, here's the thing, though. I'm also a little bit worried about the Windows experience on a handheld. I hear from people all across YouTube that even though this device spec-wise is fantastic, it just lacks that heavily. That Windows on a handheld is still not fully there. The overlay makes it better, but it's still, you still have the pop-ups for updates. You have to put it on your own. You have to put on a security software to make it protected, because don't forget about that. And just things like that. Like, it has that limitation, and I do blame Microsoft for that problem because they were in partnership with ASUS to make this device fantastic, and they just basically turn off certain services to Windows 11 to make it a little better, but they did not make an OS fully for that experience. That's what they should have done. That's their fault. So, is it an awful device? Not at all. It's very, very good for what it does. I just say they could have done a little better for that price point. It's very expensive to not include some better features and an OLED screen. That's all I'm saying. But the device is nice though. I would definitely get this device if I was going to buy a Windows handheld, it'd be this right here. I'll say that right now. Given all that crap I give to it, I would definitely buy that for that wonderful
buy over the
specs.
Steam Deck. Like if you weren't getting an OLED Steam Deck, I know it's what am I trying to say? It's not very likely for you, but
that's very hard.
If you were, would you get
Here's
it
why.
over?
I said this before. You know, I get this, and most people do when you first get a device. You get that overexcitement. You get that giddy, like, oh, I'm getting this new device. And then you have that time period of like, oh, I'm so excited to play this device, and I love it, and all this other stuff, right? The honeymoon phase. My Steam Deck OLED, it's over now, about a year old, right? November of last year. I had not lost that with this device yet, because of what it offers and what it does and how seamless it works, and it's just incredible, right? The constant enhancements, the tweaking you can do, everything else, right?
Right.
I think that as a whole for experience beats the LIX in my experience. Here's why I say that. You have a device, the ROG, that's made by ASUS, which they're great at hardware. They're not making the OS. That's Windows. You have two different partners working on one device. And they work as best they possibly can to make that happen. But at the same time, they're still lacking a experience to the user that is just seamless and wonderful. Like, for example, on the Steam Deck, I can push the power button one time, goes to the sleep mode, right? I can push it one more time and resume it, and in 3 seconds, I'm back in the game where I left off.
That's
you cannot
awesome.
get that with anything with Windows. It's not a function. You have to do the turn on. There's a sleep mode, but the sleep mode doesn't bring you right back to where you were. It brings you back into basically like the main screen of this, right? So you get a little closer with it, but not quite there. And I think the issue is the overlay is not the OS. It's just like an app over top Windows. So they build an app, right? What I want them to do is build an OS, right? A fully blown Windows OS for this, right? And yes, let me switch back to Windows 11 if I want to, right? Like, I get that. But I want a full OS that is just dedicated for gaming, so it's optimized for that very purpose. They didn't do that, and that's where it gets me twisted with how I pick one of the over the other words. And I think still I would pick a deck over this any day if I had to pick one or the other. Well, one, OLED, and two, it's the overall experience. Is it the best specs? No. But when you turn it on and see what they do on a constant basis and the constant updates they do, it just is so, so good. You're talking about a game company, Valve, that knows that exact way to make the gamer love it. I mean, today, people are buying the Steam Deck still because it is just overall a seamless experience. It's probably the best OS for handheld we have today. Until they make that better with Windows, I think we're going to see a lack of the best products that they can offer as a handheld in this market. It's just my opinion, but let me know in the comments what you think. What about you, Kwesi?
Let us know.
You had the money to buy an Ally X or a Steam Deck. Which one are you buying?
I'm buying the Ally X solely because I have a lot of Xbox games.
Okay.
Right? I don't feel like repurchasing those all on Steam.
You don't have to.
I know you said money's not an issue, but what do you mean I don't have to?
So,
how would I play those games?
Number one, you can cloud stream and play it like that.
Yeah,
that's the first thing.
Not optimal. It doesn't suck, but it's just not optimal.
On deck it is, though. It
you
really... What they do to make that seamless on deck is unhinged. What they do. It is a seamless where you don't even know that you're playing a cloud game, essentially. So, okay. Here's my other question. So you just recently bought a PS5, right?
No, it was
So you're
bought
probably
for me.
okay.
Yeah, my older brother.
And now you're buying more
Shout out to my
games.
older brother.
Now you're buying more games on PS5 than Xbox, right?
Correct.
So that being the case, you still get an Ally X?
Well, yeah, just because of like my library, and also Xbox Game Pass might be the best deal in gaming. Like I'll stand
Expensive,
by that.
but yeah.
Even oh, now it's expensive. Like
It's
I
still
hate
worth
that they restructured it.
I think it's still worth it. But see,
But
keep
it's
this in
definitely
mind.
still worth it. Because if you play more than 2 games, you've already paid for itself.
Both Game Pass, that includes the cloud gaming, right? So
Yeah.
that means you can still play every game that you want to do on your Steam Deck if you want to do that, right?
Correct.
Now, I understand what you're saying that on my Xbox, that's going to be hard to play your Steam games so far. The next Xbox, not to get too far off topic, is going to have the ability to play your Steam games on the Xbox. It's going to be full Windows experience on the Xbox. So if that's the case, Kwesi, that gives you the option to play both your Steam games and your Xbox games on one device, like you see here, right? And your Steam Deck then can play your Steam games that you then purchase. So, like, I oftentimes will get a game on Steam that I do Xbox overall. Now, if the next Xbox does that, it would be silly
if the next
not to
Xbox comes with
purchase.
Steam,
It is. It's confirmed.
it'll be so stupid just to get any other console. Like it just wouldn't even make sense to not switch over from PlayStation.
Yeah. Because you can eventually play PS games on your PC, right? Just years later,
Right.
unfortunately. But I'm willing to take that because that gives me the option to play a PS game without buying a PS5, which I'm not completely opposed to doing. I just prefer playing that stuff on my Steam Deck or PC. That's just my experience. But yeah, I mean, and keep in mind, this is their first generation of this, so they can always enhance this with ROG. I wish they will. As if the next one does not have OLED, lost cause is what I'll say. There's no excuse in 2026 not have OLED in every single panel we have. That's all I'm saying. LCD IPS needs to stop, and this needs to be the new standard. That's what I'm getting at. It's so much cheaper than it ever was to put an OLED in. It's enough. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Hey, a little bit unrelated while we're on that topic of gaming consoles. Let's put it out there for Christmas. You know, I got another DualSense controller. I got the camo one. I just
nice.
thought
It's good.
to keep you guys updated. I now have 3 controllers. I have white, black, and camo.
Ooh.
As more come in, we'll let you know. I didn't ask for a DualSense. It just kind of appeared under the tree.
Nice.
I'm not complaining though. It hasn't come out of the box yet, I will say. You might be like, Kwesi, why haven't you taken it out the box? Because I'm scared that once I do, one of the other controllers is gonna break. I think it's bad luck. I'm really
Here's
terrified.
a question for you. You now have played the Xbox and PS5. Your overall experience, which console do you like more?
Ooh, that's tough.
If you had to pick one side, and this is your side.
If I had to pick one side, well, it's hard because the Xbox is clearly more powerful, right? It has features like quick resume. Quick resume is really the main feature that I miss. And then also, what else does it have?
Controller.
It has Game Pass. The controller is more ergonomic. But then on the other side, you have PlayStation, which has Spider-Man. I'm sorry, that's not my only argument. I just wanted to take a dramatic pause there. It also has the adaptive triggers, and the adaptive triggers might be like if they're not activated in the game, you're not missing much. But when they're activated, it adds so much to the experience. And the rumble in the PS5 controller is so much better. So I think I don't know, the Xbox is more powerful and it provides a great experience. And I love the interface and everything, and I've always been an Xbox guy. But the PS5 is it's growing on me. It's got a great selection of games. But you know what? This year, I'm going Xbox. It might change next year as I play my PS5 more. But right now,
if your Xbox allows you to use Steam games, which then can let you play games from PlayStation, would that sway your decision?
I don't know, because like with Spider-Man 2, just played it for the first time the other day. Like the rumble and like when he whips the web, you feel it in the trigger. It's beautiful, right? And then when I play NBA 2K26, a lot of the time I'm not looking at the stamina bar, right? And if you take a shot when you're on low stamina, you tend to miss it, right? But as that trigger is getting progressively harder to pull, like helps me be aware of that stamina bar without even having to look at the stamina bar. So it gives me that as an advantage. And then also I want to put out there, I was playing 2K26 and then some kids got on the mic and they accused me of cheating. I never got accusations of cheating when I was on Xbox. I think I think I'm better on PlayStation, unfortunately. So, dude, they accused me of zenning, and for those of you that don't play NBA 2K, I think I know it helps you green every shot, but I don't know if it goes on the controller or if you like have to plug the controller into it. I really don't know how it works. I clearly don't have one. But the accusations, man, I love it. I love the accusations.
Hey, it makes the game a little more interesting when that's the case, right? But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love being accused of cheating. Wait, maybe I should clarify. I love being accused of cheating in games. Right? I've never cheated on anything in my life, though. Put that out there, make it very clear.
But yeah, as Kwesi said, this is a nice handheld. I know I gave it a little bit of crap, but hardware-wise, I don't think there's any issues there at all. It is a beast of hardware.
Indeed.
I just wish the OS was a little better. It's good, but it can get a little better.
It can be a little better.
Well, I mean, they will improve the next generation of this, I guarantee you. And I think as a whole, we are going to a handheld experience for gaming in general. And I love it that you can do this. So you can dock it and play at your home on a TV with a controller, or you can bring with you and wherever you go. And I think that's the way we're going to see gaming go anyway. And I hope it does go that way. It's a great experience. Okay, next topic. Now, speaking of Jon Prosser, he is one of the top leakers of Apple in the last probably 5 years, 6 years, if not more. And I used to watch Genius Bar. I say used to because they kind of closed down, unfortunately. They're a big inspiration for this podcast, by the way. And I kind of wish we can get either Sam or John on this podcast to just kind of bring things up and talk about their experiences, what they did, and like how they did their podcast. I wish they could. And John and Sam, if you were watching this, we would love to have you as a guest. Both of you or one of you. I reached out to Sam. I've not got a response yet, sadly. But yes, any case, Jon Prosser was known to do this. He still does leak, right? Just not as much as he used to. But now Apple has sued Jon, and I've not heard the whole story with this yet. I know Jon has responded a couple of things with Apple, but if Apple's suing Jon, that means that he really did something bad to get to that state where they're suing him. So they sued for iOS 26 leaks because he was right on point with that, and the methods he did, well, we'll see how that really turns out. He's accused of stealing information from an Apple employee without their knowledge and all this other stuff with a plot. Whether that's true or not, we'll see the court cases. But overall, that was a big topic over the year that I wanted to bring up because, well, it's a person I used to watch, and I'm just curious how that's going to turn out. So that's my other big topic.
I also watch him, and he got sued because he recreated, he saw. So what happened was somebody at Apple had showed him the new update, and then off of pure memory, he came and recreated it, put these amazing graphics up, and that's why he got sued.
It was supposedly he recorded a FaceTime call with the iOS.
I lied. That's exactly what he did, actually. It wasn't
Yeah.
Pure memory sounds cooler.
That's the accusal of Jon of what he did. Whether he did is... I personally don't know. I could see him doing that personally, but at the same time, I don't know. That's what he did.
Crazy. I could definitely see him doing that.
But he got someone fired, didn't say at least, which probably
This is
isn't
true.
cool.
Not
Okay.
great for that person.
No.
Very rough.
Well, he should have been calling somebody that wasn't an Apple employee with an alpha build of iOS too, but
This is true. Sometimes actions have
you know,
consequences.
yeah.
A lot of the times, action has consequences. I'm gonna stop talking now. I could not get that word out. It was really bad.
It's okay. Okay. Your next topic, Kwesi. This one's
All right, my next topic, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to bring this up really quickly because Okay, let me actually calm down before I bring this up. It is the big 2025, right? We're going into 2026. Every store in the world accepts Apple Pay, with the exception of Walmart. Like, literally, if... Adam, let me tell you something. The only reason that I brought this up in my top stories for this year is because it seems that every time I go into Walmart, and Walmart's the only store I ever do this with, I forget my wallet in the car. So I have to, if I'm not there with friends, I have to, hey, employee, sorry, I'm so sorry. I just now realized I left my wallet in the car and you guys don't take Apple Pay. Can you wash my stuff real quick while I run to the car? And granted, I've had a lot of nice employees. But the fact that they made me download the OnePay app, these monsters at Walmart, yeah, I have the OnePay app now. Does it work? Yeah, I have to scan a QR code. Is that convenient? Not in the slightest. Walmart, lock in. It is about to... In 2026, if we don't have Apple Pay, I'm boycotting Walmart. I swear to God, y'all will never have another cent of my business.
They just don't want to pay the Apple
like
Pay
3%
transaction
surcharge
fees. Yeah. Okay. They're
I'll
still
pay a
paying
little bit
credit
extra for it.
cards to do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a little bit
Put
sad.
my card in, they're card readers, and that's what you have to do. Or you use the OnePay app. It's slightly less using that, but you still have to pay it. So there's a little more to pay Apple. Someone said that there was disagreement with Apple and Walmart when they were trying to roll out Apple Pay, and because of that, they're just not using Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever, right? But once again, it's super silly because that's the one place where you can be in the most random town in the United States that doesn't have has like a Dollar General and a Walmart and a gas station, right? And that's just where you can go to get
it's
stuff.
gonna have a Dollar General.
Oh yeah.
Dollar General might be the most common store in the United
There
States.
might be
of
more
America.
Dollar Generals than there is Walmarts. I could be wrong.
There genuinely
But
might be.
there just might be though.
Dude,
Here's a side little topic. Have you ever witnessed in your lifetime a McDonald's being built?
I've seen them be renovated.
That's not the same
Let
thing.
me tell you something. I promise you, they put it on the back of trucks and just go plop it on a plot of land. That's the only way.
I just know I've seen construction sites where there's going to be one, right? And then you go to bed and you wake up and now they're
already
open for
there.
business.
They worked overnight.
How?
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't eat there, okay, I'll say that, but I'll say that how they do business is something else, and how they build their stores is insane.
I almost just said I should have made them my app of the year, and then it occurred to me. I
You
didn't
did.
make them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But, anyway, I do want Walmart to do Apple Pay and NFC besides doing, keep your Walmart Pay if you really want to use that.
Yeah,
But
I'm
just
saying it's
for crying
it's
out
not
loud.
the most convenient.
Their readers, I know, support it.
Pissed me off, Adam, because the other day the thing lit up. The thing lit up. The little dot
Oh, yeah.
that shows you the
Yeah,
Oh my
which
God.
green
I
little
almost
dot
punched somebody in
that
the
gives you
face.
hopes.
I almost
and
punched
it just
somebody in the face.
crushes it when you can't use it.
Because why did we purchase the readers with this functionality and then turn the functionality off? Everybody else has the exact same car. See, I could
Now,
understand
wait.
if they were using some proprietary first generation tech that's only at Walmart.
Isn't
No.
when you scan the QR code, it's on the screen of the point
On the
cell,
screen
not,
of the thing.
not the Ingenico, which I know that is, but the card reader, right? It's not there. So you are purchasing readers that do have just this function and just don't use it. I mean, it's not like Walmart's not used to them. They purchased, right? They purchased about 28 point of sale lanes and used 3 of them.
I'm very
Isn't it
upset.
kind of funny too? Just to go on the Walmart topic, I don't know if it's happened in California, but at least here, there was this huge surge of self checkout where you're basically an employee of Walmart and not getting paid, and then guess what? Because of theft, they said, "Oh, we're going to bring back some cashiers and actual point of sale lanes and not do self checkout," which is what people wanted anyway. No one was rejoicing when they had self checkout because they don't like them. They suck.
I like self checkout. I'm in and out of there.
I do
hate
too.
waiting in lines.
But do you think that the entire lanes of point of sale should be self
I did not like how
checkout?
they had like 82 lanes that were just all self checkout, and they had like 3 cashiers, and only one was open.
Never enough cashiers for that.
Hated that.
Yeah, because your light was
Second-
blinking because it was something that they had to come check, or it didn't scan right, or whatever it was, right? And you're sitting there, and you might as well watch the episode or the whole entire movie of Avatar because you waited forever. And at that point, your milk was spoiled, and it became yogurt, and now you have to go back and get more milk.
Can I just say?
Yeah, it's exaggeration, but still.
I was at a grocery store up here. It's called Speedway. It's Joel Osco's sister company, right? And
Grocery store?
Yeah, a grocery store.
Really? Because
Yeah.
like over here, it's a gas station, convenience store.
Joel
kind of thing.
Osco?
No, Speedway.
Oh yeah, Speedway over there is. Yeah, that's kind of funny, isn't it? I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm
Maybe they
standing in
branched
the
off.
Speedway, right? And I'm standing there. We're in like this 18-person line. There's only one cash register open, right? I see the guy, an employee. He walks right by me, says, "Hey, it'll only be a minute," right? Goes and stands by the cashier and starts chopping it up. He looks like he's having the time of his life. Mind you, we're standing in like an 18-person line. Come and open another register! Sorry. He sat there and went and started. Mind you, he slowed down the guy who was actually doing work because they're sitting there having the best conversation of their life. Like old pals just catching up. Go and open another register. Gosh, I'm not trying to be in the store all night.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Goodness.
I have a story about in our one more thing segment that I don't think I've told you yet. That's very, very funny that I'll bring up that happened in a Walmart.
Okay. Sorry.
It's not a bad thing too. It was a
so
wonderful
upset.
thing. Probably the best things that ever happened in Walmart. Okay. So my next topic, we had to kind of hurry us up a little bit, but it's
Okay.
about the UK demanding Apple to give iCloud access to themselves to do whatever they seem fit to do
Thank
with.
goodness I don't live in Great Britain.
And didn't Apple tell them no? Was that what we found out?
I do believe that Apple told them
I am
no,
so glad they
because it
told
violates their
the UK
company policies.
to just go sit over there and get out of here. That's a good way of putting it without being too aggressive. This is an absolute breach of my data and everybody else's data that has Apple. I don't care what institution, government, whatever it is. Get your slimy little hands off my data. And this is not to, catch the bad guys. It's not what it is at all. It's just because they want to make sure that you're not saying anything bad about the government. What happened
Which
to free
is literally
speech?
1984.
Like we're having
Yeah,
free
it's about
speech
the
now. I think
book.
it's probably just like us in the United States, but it's the same time. Seriously, like there are so many places that want this information that it's just unnecessary for them to have. There's some personal information I have on my phone that people shouldn't get. I'm not saying it's
I
anything
agree.
bad, but like in
Yeah.
general, like
Like-
credit card information. I finally got the Illinois the ID thing to go on my phone. So like stuff like this, that's
Or hear
not
me
for them
out.
to take.
If you search how to get rid of my butt pimples, you don't want the government seeing that,
Yeah,
right? That's a very personal thing. Nobody needs
exactly.
to know that you have butt pimples.
There's just things that they shouldn't get access to when our own government doesn't have access to it. Now,
I agree.
our government and other people do hacking stuff to get it right. That's one thing that they always do. But at the same time, that's one thing Apple is very, very adamant about is privacy. And I don't think they should have ever got this. And I'm glad that they did not. I think they told them no and just go stop it. This was a topic that just made me so upset. And I'm so glad that they told them no. So that was my next topic.
My final topic is going to be the PlayStation 5 price hike. This was back in August, and the reason I wanted to put it out there was because with the tariffs and all the tax and the crazy stuff that happened this year, Xbox raised its prices twice, right? We saw Xbox raise it $50 and then raise it another $50, making Xboxes completely unaffordable for the regular gamer, right? Now the PS5 is the best deal in gaming, unfortunately. And I'm saying unfortunately, huh?
$749 right now, isn't it?
The PS5 or the Xbox?
PS5 Pro.
The PS5 Pro
$749.
is $749, yeah.
And disc is...
Well, it doesn't come with the disc drive. You have to buy the disc drive separate. But I don't even use my disc drive. I don't have a single
you can get
disc
the
game.
PS5 1 terabyte, so not
they're
the
all
Pro
1
model,
terabyte.
with Fortnite. It's not worth.
No, it's absolutely not worth. But the Xbox Series X, if I wanted to purchase one today, it would cost me my entire liver. The Xbox Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Space Black Edition is $799. The all digital edition is $599, right? Which is actually what the PS5 Slim costs right now. And then you can't even buy the what? What am I looking at right here? Oh, sorry. And then the Xbox Series X, the regular one, is $649.99.
Do you have the PS5 Pro, by the way?
I do not have the PS5 Pro. I have a Slim edition, a Slim model.
Okay. I didn't know which one you had.
Which is $100 less than the current Xbox Series X. Granted, I said it was the best deal in gaming. That might have been a lie because the Xbox Series S still exists. But you have to understand, with the S, you're getting a lot less performance. And you're getting, I think it actually has a completely different CPU in it.
You can get the Xbox Series X 1 terabyte for $599.
Where are you seeing that at? That's a great deal.
Amazon.
Yo, the Xbox never goes on sale.
That's a good chunk off right there.
My goodness. That's $150 off. Guys, I'm sorry. Buy an Xbox today if you can. It's very important that you get it today.
Isn't it $649 MSRP?
It is usually $649 right now. This is like the original price of the Xbox.
It's not $150 off. It's just $50 off.
Wait, guys, I can't do math. But in the last 30 days, that's the lowest price. It's actually the lowest price in the last 90 days as well.
Yeah, but that 2 terabyte is insanely expensive.
Yeah, but also you can just buy the little thing that you plug into the back. I'm actually thinking about buying an SSD for my PS5.
Can't stand that. I have one, but
to double the storage. But they're like $300.
It's expensive. Yeah. Okay. But yes, they increased their price. So does Xbox. So did actually most other things.
Yeah,
except Steam Deck, and I don't think Switch did. Switch did not, or they did.
The Switch too. Actually, they raised the price of the Switch as well.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
the Switch might be the worst deal in gaming, but
who's buying that device? A Switch 2 that is
Mario Kart,
anti-consumer in every single capacity.
Nintendo just fell off so hard. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, but I mean, I'm just trying to give you some facts. I mean, you want to put your Switch 2 in the original dock that it comes with and pull it out and now it's scratched?
Might as well scratch it.
You can do that.
Hey,
you want to do you wobbly
buy
like
a game, but like not actually own the game? You want to buy a console that can just be bricked at any time, just for the fun of it.
Yeah,
just for the fun of it. They can brick it at any moment, Adam. What kind of nonsense is that? Why would I buy this console that Nintendo can decide? Oh, his Wi-Fi connection is kind of spotty. He's spoofing. He's a cheater. Get him out of here. Oh my God, file a lawsuit on them. This is the most anti-consumer console, but the people bought it.
Yeah,
The people
they want
bought
to
it.
play the new games that come out for Switch 2.
Mario Kart World was literally it. That's the only game I would think about playing. Did you know that the Breath of the Wild that they re-released really just came with some new, like, it came with like 2 new features.
Yeah,
It's
not
not worth
worth. Not worth. Okay,
Sorry, guys. I know that probably
my
upsets some
last
people.
topic is the most impressive thing I've seen Apple do this year, I think, so far. And I
Okay,
love my
what's that?
iPhone 17 Pro Max. I'm not saying it's not a good device. What I'm saying is, I was shocked, and Kwesi was shocked too, when I seen that the iPhone Air bend test was the most durable iPhone ever made. And we seen a video from
Jerry everything.
oh yes, yeah, they served filling that for me. Where how many pounds of pressure was it, Kwesi? Over 1,000?
I think it was like 230 on one spot that caused it
I
to
think it
break.
was way more than that, wasn't it?
No, I definitely think it was. Hold on, let me go watch it.
I think it was
Jerry,
far more. Oh, it was 15. Yeah, pounds of. Yes, it was. I thought it was 1,000. I don't know where I got that from. Anyway, you could not, like, with your fingers and stuff, unless you broke your fingers in your hand, just unless you're a T2, basically, right? Bend that thing and break it. There's people at Dub trying to do this in the iPhone events, and they did not do it at all. And it took Jarek everything to prove that it was 215 points of pressure in one spot, and that is super impressive.
For our non-freedom loving viewers, it's 97 kilograms. Just in case you can't do the conversions.
That's so much, and that's insane. I don't think any device that exists is that durable, really, at this point.
No,
And
really.
I think that was their entry point into doing an iPhone Fold, so they're going to bring that technology to the Fold. It comes out, I think, this year, actually, right? No, sorry, next year.
This
And
upcoming year.
I didn't get an iPhone Air, and neither did Kwesi, but I will say I was super impressed with that. I did go to an Apple store and got permission from Apple directly to do a bend test on the Air they had. I said, "How can I really test this, like, without going on a table and doing like a suplex on it?" They said, "Yeah, use your hands, do as much as you possibly can. If you break it, doesn't matter." That's how confident they were. They didn't care. And I did. I mean, I almost broke my thumbs. I really did. I put as much pressure as I could think of, and I heard a little bit of cracking, but nothing broke. Nothing at all. It was perfectly wonderful. So I was super shocked on that. That was why I made this my last topic of the year, because I was shocked how wonderful and durable this really was.
Yeah, no, it was definitely.
Insane.
I think that was one of the biggest things we brought up when we were looking at the leaks. That and the battery.
Yeah,
While
the
the
battery.
battery was still trash,
But it was better than we
the
thought.
fact it was a
For
lot
being
better
so
than we
thin.
thought.
Yeah.
But wow, the iPhone
Lot
Air
better.
was a shock this year.
I
Samsung
didn't
had
get
their
one.
their Edge phone. That was decent, but it's not surviving 210 pounds of
No,
pressure.
not even the slightest. Alrighty.
Props to Apple.
So we
Adam,
want
it is
to.
time.
We
Sorry,
usually
go ahead.
do app of the week and product of the week, but we're going to do product of the year and app of the year. So it's our favorite overall app and product of the year, 2025. So I wanted to add that to this stories of the year that we're doing. So Kwesi, what is your app of the year? Your best app of the entire year?
Actually, do you want to start with product of the year just because the app of the year segment's older, and so that's going to go farther back?
That's fine. We can do that.
All right.
So product of the year, go ahead, Kwesi.
Ladies and gentlemen, my product of the year. I know I just said I'm an Xbox guy, but this PS5, man. Right now, you can get the PS5 on Amazon for $549, which is the original price. I'm sure you can go find some open box deals, maybe some refurbished stuff to play Spider-Man for like a less price. Ladies and gentlemen, this console is the most immersive gaming experience you will ever have, right? Whether you're playing on the big screen TV or you're playing on your monitor that just broke. Maybe it's not going to be as immersive if your monitor is broken. Let me tell you something, guys. It's one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had, right? And if you want to feel in tune with, like, let's say you want to play, I'll give the Spider-Man example because I love Spider-Man so much. But
Which
if you
one
want to play
specifically?
God of War, which one specifically is my favorite?
Yeah.
Well, I just finished Miles Morales, so right now that's like at the top of my head. Like I literally just started Spider-Man 2 like yesterday. So Miles Morales is currently my favorite. Just because Miles can do so much more. Dude, I didn't realize like Miles Morales was dragging on in the beginning, right? Because he only had the same powers as Spider-Man. He was just a lot weaker. I completely forgot that Miles Morales could turn invisible. So
Oh.
once I unlocked that,
I do have that game. I haven't played it
I
yet,
have
but
the
it's on my
most.
list.
Dude, let me tell you something. You have to play them in order, right? If you play
Yeah, I'm
them out
playing
of
the first one
order,
right now, and it's oh my gosh, is it a good game?
oh, it's such a great game. Like, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, PS5 is just one of the best deals in gaming, and PS Plus allows you to play those games without shelling out an arm and a leg. Granted, I bought a lot of stuff on Black Friday, and Spider-Man was one of them. But for you guys who don't want to purchase things, take a look at it. I'm just saying it could be the best option for you over at
Okay.
Xbox. Maybe it's time to switch. Adam, what's your product of the year?
Steam Deck OLED.
Why am I not surprised?
I just had a friend that bought one, and he, got his accessories. He's still getting some more as we speak. The reason why I love it so much is because it's a computer, it's a gaming device, and it is such a wonderful experience overall. It's making me like the Linux OS a lot more than I ever did, and it is just a great experience overall. And I know recently they just stopped making the LCD model, which is it's time. It was good for a little bit, but OLED's what it needs to be. And I know it's a little bit expensive, but at the same time, once you get, you'll understand why it's such a fantastic device. I love that it's portable. I love that I can go to a TV and dock it. And I love that it offers so much overall that just makes it incredible to play. So that's mine, the Steam Deck OLED.
A little bit unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just share my screen here so that you can see what I'm seeing, because this
Please
is
do.
a little bit of nonsense. I'm not understanding this. Right, as you can see here, we have the PlayStation 5 for $533, right? I'm not reading that wrong?
Is that from a third party?
No. This is from the PlayStation 5 store.
But it's not.
No. It says visit the PlayStation 5 store. That means it's
No,
being
I
sold.
get that, but scroll down. Who's actually selling it?
Where do I see that?
Well, you think you should be able to see it quite easily.
Yeah, I
go
would
ahead
assume
and add
it
to your
should be right
cart.
there.
Add to your cart, and that's where you can see it. Oh, right there.
Shipper/seller, nationwide distributors.
Yeah,
Why is this being
that's-
sold for $533, but this Fortnite holiday bundle is only $449? Ladies and gentlemen, jump on this immediately.
Cuz. Sorry.
Yo, they're paying you to play Fortnite. That is what's going on here.
Well, and I
But,
think I know why. Because isn't it kind of silly to include a bundle for Fortnite if the game is free?
Yeah, that is kind of silly.
That's probably why. Ooh, Battlefield 6. Oh my gosh, that game is incredible, Kwesi.
Oh, it's currently unavailable. I
Oh,
haven't played
Battlefield
Battlefield
6 is so
6.
good.
I've heard good things about it, though.
Oh, you should
All
definitely
right,
play that game.
let's get this out of here. App of the year, Adam. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start with the greatest app of all time?
I can start.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
think I keep coming at this app time and time again. It's on my home screen. If an app's on my home screen, that just means that I use it frequently. And I have lots of folders, but I have very few just straight apps. And Balloons Tower Fence 6 is still one of my favorite ones I play just about every single day. And I love that game. It's super simple. It's fun. It is, I say simple. It can be very, very difficult, but it's also super fun. It adds so much more to it than I ever imagined. I love that, like, Kwesi, if he had this game, could make a map to test my skills of that game, right? And I say make a map. There's a map editor where you can make your own challenges and all this other stuff with it. And I love that concept. They have added 2 or 3 new game modes to this game that make it even more immersive and fun. And I love they have racing to it as well. They have a lot of different things you could do with it, but it's one of those games where it brings me back to my childhood when I played the very first couple of them that came out on Flash game sites, and now it's on iOS. It's just one of those games where you're like, brings me back to a great time in my life. And my life's still not great. I'm just saying that. It's just nice to play on my phone. And it's just one of those games I get immersed in, and I love that game. So for me, it's Balloon Tire Fence 6, and I cannot wait for the 7th one to come out. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
It's a day one purchase when it does so.
For me, it's on my home screen as well. Big Mickey D's. Let me tell you about this app, ladies and gentlemen. Not Spawn, but ladies and gentlemen, McDonald's has been there for me when nobody else was. On days when I had just $6 in my bank account and I needed to eat and the dining hall was closed, I knew McDonald's was going to be there to have my back with a free McChicken and a $5 meal deal. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gotten me through so much this year. Now, I don't know how much money I put into McDonald's this year. Let's go to just one of my bank
Has to be
accounts.
more than $4. Just has to be.
Oh, it's definitely more than $4. I can't even imagine how much money I put into McDonald's this year. Can I search transactions? I can.
I'll tell you this. If McDonald's sponsors us, I would love to
I'd be
do a
having the time of my
giveaway.
life. Look how many McDonald's transactions there are in here. All from this year. And this isn't even the bank account I use the most.
I would love to, if they sponsored us, to do a giveaway of like a gift card with McDonald's, right? I would love to be able to do that. If they would like to sponsor us, just reach out to us, and we would love that opportunity, McDonald's.
I agree, McDonald's. Please sponsor me. I already eat you guys like every day. Dude, I could be such a great McDonald's salesman. I'm trying to see if I can see past orders on this app. View history. Oh,
So
it just
that
kind of
brings
tells
us
me
into
how
the.
many points I have.
Now we're in the one more thing segment now.
Yeah. Go. Do you have anything for us, Adam?
I do. I do want to bring up one story that happened in a Walmart near where I'm at right now, actually. And it was one of the funniest things that occurred. It was completely unplanned. It wasn't a bad thing at all. It happened. It was so funny. I was with my friend. We went to Walmart to get some snacks. We were going to come hang out and play some games. And we walk in, right?
Right.
And this old guy, right, in one of those mobility scooters that you get from Walmart, you walk in right there. He comes up. We first get to where you first walk in. We didn't get 4 steps, and this guy stops us. He asks my friend with a straight face, "Do you want to race?" My friend and me are in awe and shock. We're like, "What is this man talking about?" What could he? He's in the scooter. What's he gonna do, right? So my friend turns to me, he's like, "What should I do?" I'm like, "You race him, because this will never happen to you in your life ever again, right?" So he's like, "Okay." They start actually racing from the beginning of the store to the other end of the store and back, right?
Really?
And my friend's on foot, and this guy's in his scooter. And for some reason, and he was being serious. He wasn't laughing the entire time. He wanted to race. That was his mission in life. That's what he wanted to do. So then, between this not chaos, but just fun moment, the store manager's called, right? And not because someone's someone thought that the guy was yelling at my friend because the way he said it was a little bit more aggressive than he needed to be, right? So the guy's like, "Hey, is there a problem?" I'm like, "No. In fact, this is the best thing that's ever happened in your store in the history of the store ever. I guarantee you." He wanted to race, and it's not like they're going through knocking people's cars down, nothing like that. It's like a walking race basically. I said, you just had to allow this, please. If you do one thing today, let this happen, please. This is the best thing that's ever happened in your store. He immediately starts losing his mind laughing, right? And he's like, "Where are they at?" I'm like, "Just look straight ahead. They're right there. They're by the diapers right now, I think." They race, and my friend let the dude win because obviously he wanted to win. But he made it look like he wasn't going to win, right, the whole time. He kind of walked a little faster some spots and, so on and so on. And like the store in unison, like just like split like the Red Sea and just let it happen, right? It was wonderful. And the guy won, and his cheer was like he went, yeah! And we were like, this is the best thing's ever happened in Walmart ever. Like it wasn't a bad thing. Someone didn't get shot. It was like a wonderful experience at a Walmart. Like I want to see that happen again. Why is that not happening more often, right? You have the racing scooters there. Why don't you use it more, right?
I have a question. Is anybody allowed to get in those, or do you like have to have like a disability?
What I will say is this. There's like an unwritten rule that you should not get in that unless you are in need of using it. I will say I have seen people that have no need to use those all the time. I don't think they're going to stop them because, like, it's 2025.
Yeah, once you stop them, they actually do have an issue.
But no, like, they could just say, I'm offended, and then they'll let them use it, right, basically. So I don't think they're going to stop it because of just today's society, right? But I think more people use it that need it than they say. I'll take that back. I think people that need it use it more than people that don't use it. Don't need it, I should say. So that was an experience so that I will never forget, and it was one of the funniest things that's ever happened in my life. And the way we cried laughing after it happened. It was so funny. And this guy was like, when he won, he got out of the scooter and walked away.
What?
There was he did not need to use that scooter completely. Like, he didn't like walk perfectly, but it was just something he wanted to do. And I cannot imagine the conversations that he had when he left it with his friends and maybe his wife or whatever, right? Like, it was just a beautiful moment in time. And it's things like this that make you appreciate life, right? It's just, there's so many things in this world to get upset about, and politics and everything else, right? But when you see things like this kind of stuff happen, where it's harmless, it's fun, and it's just mesmerizing every way, it's just an awesome experience to be a part of, right?
Most
I mean,
definitely.
you probably have never had that happen to you before, crazy,
absolutely
right?
Not. Absolutely not.
But
I live a very boring life.
If there was a person that wanted to race you in that situation, would you say yes to that? I would, in a heartbeat.
I would, but like, I'm not losing.
In a heartbeat. You're gonna crush their dreams. They're an 8-year European retired, and you're gonna crush their dreams
by at least 30 seconds. Like, I am. You do not challenge me to a race in a scooter and expect to win. It's just not happening. I'm sorry.
Now, what if you're also a scooter too?
I'm throwing boxes on the floor in front of them. I refuse to lose. Like, you're not understanding. I will do whatever it takes to win.
Okay, what if it's versus your grandma?
Versus my grandma? Well, she should already know what's coming. She's she's seen me since I was a wee little boy, and I didn't like losing back then. Dude, we used to have this,
she's going to also do the same thing to win and beat you, naturally.
She's not going to beat me.
Right. She's not going to beat you?
Absolutely not.
I think we need to get hold of your grandma. I think we need to have this on video and see this happen.
Dude,
I'm not even kidding you.
Smoke my grandmother.
I would
love
to see that happen now. Like, do you think she would do it if you asked her?
Absolutely not.
Why? You don't think she would do it?
She doesn't like to leave the house anymore. Granted, she is currently in New Jersey, right? She flew out to New Jersey because,
you don't
my
think
aunt's having a surgery. She's being the best
anybody could
mom in the
convince
world.
her. No one could convince her to do this ever.
I mean, we probably could.
I think what's it going to take? I want to see it so badly now.
She'd have to be really bored that day.
Like, well, she puts some money down. Say whoever wins gets $50 or something.
I don't know.
She do it then?
I don't think she needs money at this point. Like,
I'm just saying, Kwesi, like, how funny that would be
if there would be a way,
I would love that to happen. So that was my really funny thing that like it happened and I was there to part of it. There's been many other stories, but that's one of them for sure. I mean, looking back in 2025, I've had lots of, just crazy things happen. I mean, I've been working on my house like absolute crazy. I've had, interesting things happen to me. Nothing awful. I mean, it's been good for the most part, right? It's just been all over the place with work and then the podcasts and stuff. I will say this though, like, you can ask my whole family, the excitement that I get for doing the podcast is just, it's so wonderful. They do this every single week, and from an idea to where it's at now, I look forward to it, and I want to see this expand. Like, it would just be incredible if this could be like a full-time job where you get to have fun doing it. And I know there's back-end work we both do, and I get that, but it's all worth it to me, right? I know it's, getting up at 3 a.m. for me to come do this is really early. I get that. And people keep saying, why you get up so early? I'm like, you just don't understand. It's just,
there's no
to
other
me,
time. It's
so fun. But, even now, we're both off. And I could probably make it work, but it's just the fact that it's a fun time to do it. I get that. And it's a great way to start the day. For me, it is. It's so fun. I get into that space in that mode where it's like, okay, I'm going to record. I'm so excited to do this every single week, and I don't get sick of it at all. I look forward to it, actually. If it wasn't for limitations of what we have in our lives, I probably want to do it more than once a week. And I know that might be too much.
Most definitely. Like the second I like, Adam, if this could become a full-time job, then I'd like to be that. But obviously, right now, we need to focus on just making the best content for you guys.
And I know we say, like and subscribe, but let's dig down deep a little bit with that.
My goodness, I forgot to say that at the beginning of the episode. We're not getting any likes this episode. It's all my fault.
No, it's not your fault. I mean, we're at just a weird space where I think we just have more people that just want to listen to us and actually take action. And it's one thing, it's fine. I get that. But, let's see. And let's just, our viewers are awesome, and we know this. Let's set a goal.
Time and time again.
Let's set a goal. By the end of 2026, we are at a radical, wonderful growth spot with this podcast where we look back and we're like, wow, look how far we've come with this, where we have this happening now. We're doing this, where it's not hard for us to get, an interview with Craig Federighi and all these other big influencers and do collaborations with big podcasters and YouTubers. Right. This is something that when I say we have plans for this podcast, you have no clue. We're not even done with half a phase yet. We have so much more planned. But one thing to make that happen is we have to grow some more. And I'm not saying that we're not growing. I'm not saying that at all. But I want to see that, just domination growth where we're we go from this many views to triple or even more views where, I won't be able to walk in the street, Kwesi, no matter where I go in the United States, and get recognized for being on this podcast. And it's not about the fame, though. It's not what I'm saying, though. It's more so of the reachability of what we're doing. I want this to be wow, someone from Alabama, someone in the middle of Alabama that, there might be a Dollar General and a Walmart, but they listen to our podcast. I just want to see that we could not just talk about tech, but have a community where we can be wow, that's a fan that we've reached out to and they like what we do, and we can approach them and have a conversation and maybe make the world a better place. We joke, we have fun on this podcast, but the community part of it to me is so wonderful, and I want to see that part grow more than anything else. Not just because of fame. We all want to get famous at some point, but that's not why I do this. It's not because of fame. It's because I want to be able to spread tech and have some opinions and viewpoints that people probably don't even talk about. I talk about things that we probably shouldn't say out loud. I hold back certain things, so it's Kwesi. But this is something that I want to see us grow where we can just have so much fun and include you guys with it. And, we have plans, like I said, that we can't release yet. But I'm so happy that this podcast is doing so well. And I'm happy that we have room to grow and that's going to happen, right? I mean, we're pushing all the time, and please help us achieve these goals. Because we have some plans for you guys too that we want to do, and if you see us in the street, if you see us out and about, do not be afraid to walk up to us. I mean, I hope Kwesi's okay with that. No, I say that.
I'm definitely more scared of you than you are of me.
I'm all for it.
I'm not going to come up to you
come
and
say
talk
hi.
to you, if you can say hi to me, I'll be like.
If you ever see at least me, I mean, just come say hi. I'm not going to be opposed to that. That would actually I'd be super thrilled if you did. Say, are you from that One More Thing type podcast? Yeah. Yes, I am. Let's talk for a bit.
I would take the opportunity to gaslight you.
Okay.
One More Thing tech? No, sorry, never heard of it. And then as you leave, guys, I'm just joking. I am Kwesi. What's up?
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is I've seen some people, and people have approached me that I know that I never thought listened to this podcast at all. And not just people that I know, like friends and family, but like people that like, our campus, they're like, hey, I watch you, like, wow, who are you, kind of thing, right? And get talk to them a little bit. Well, like, they know my name and stuff like that, but I don't know who they are, right? But that's been a blessing and joy. So, I do hope that this can grow at least double by, if not triple, so we can get this going. And yes, like this is planned to be a second job for me at least, and I love it. Like I want us to get a studio, I want us to get some products backed and all this other stuff, and like just blow up in a good way, right? And for me, this is a special time. Every time I do this once a week, and I just can't wait. It's so fun for me. It's not dreadful at all. Like, it's just, I love it every single time I do it. How are you, Kwesi?
Me? I just gotta say, I'm so grateful and thankful for the opportunity to wake up every week and know that I have an audience who I can speak to and not have to hold too much back. Like, I can speak my mind on everything, and you guys still tune in to listen, right? I know I've had some horrendous takes, right? I'm not gonna say which takes that I think were horrendous, but I know I have had some pretty bad ones. So the fact that you guys just keep coming back every week is truly a shock to me, and it's really humbling. And guys, 2025, by the time you guys see this episode, 2025 is done, right? We have big plans for 2026, but we can't get there without you guys. So if you guys want to like and subscribe, obviously word of mouth is the best way to travel, right? That's going to help us grow the biggest. We plan on doing a lot of stuff, a lot of giveaways, a lot of questions and answers, a lot of, we were talking about having a live streamed podcast where we'd bring guests on. So just a lot of stuff that we have planned, but we can't make it happen without you guys. It's not like I'm sitting here asking you for money, right? Subscribing to this channel is free. Subscribing to our podcast will always be free, right?
Always.
But if we're not growing in views and stuff, then, sometimes it's demoralizing. Sometimes I look at the statistics and maybe 7 people have downloaded it that week. But to those 7 people, I say thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially during the holiday season, you chose to spend an hour of your day, an hour and a half with us. Thank you, like we really appreciate everything that you guys do.
You have made 2025 for us a lot better than we ever planned for.
Yeah.
I never thought I would do a podcast in my entire life. People have mentioned it before to me. They say you should probably do something like that. And just when that thought occurred, and then I got some support from people, and you're like, how's this going to be possible to do? How can I pull this off? I don't know what I'm doing. We're going to try to figure it out. And, just with some knowledge in the background, it just worked out. And then when Kwesi came on board, it just, I had 2 other people that were talking about being a co-host. I did some trial runs with them before we released anything. And it just didn't work out, right? I don't feel bad for them. Sorry, that's a bad way to say it. I'm not mad at them, but we didn't leave on bad terms, something like that. And then when Kwesi came on, it was different, and it worked a lot better than I could ever imagine. And not saying I couldn't think Kwesi could do it. I just did not think that we would click that well right off the bat. Like our first episode, I don't think you guys understand. We tried to do a script, we tried to do all this other stuff that just, was going to make the scene so great. And what you don't realize is,
recorded it a couple times,
and we did.
The first episode, the audio kept cutting out on one of the mics we were using.
Yeah, well, that was my fault. But one of the things that it was crazy. But what was so interesting was this: like, we have found, and this is a little sneak peek of how we do things. How we do an episode, it's not scripted, if that makes sense. What we have is we have show notes about what we're going to talk about for topics, and it's all improv. And that makes it work the best. We don't want to make this into a script like a show where it's all predetermined, right? It needs to be on the spot. Here's what we're going to talk about. Here's how we're going to do it. And that's worked the best for us. Oh, yeah. You made 2025 amazing, and 2026 is just around the corner, and I can't wait to make this even better in 2026. I mean, we will get Kwesi to a 1-year mark of this podcast, and I am super excited for that. I mean, it is just, you have no idea. I'm super excited. And you're going to see some big changes in some good ways from this podcast. I'm not saying people are going to be leaving. I'm not saying that at all. We're just going to make some enhancements, make this even better for you guys and for those who aren't listening to us yet. We're on every major platform: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, so on, and YouTube too. Don't forget about that. So,
This is true.
if you guys just want to talk to us in Discord, let us know. We have a Discord channel as well. So that blow up too. It's kind of against the spy web. So let's see some people join that and get a discussion going, right? Unlike other places, it's going to be actually us responding to you there. We do on TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that too. So, yes, what a great year it's been. It's been a wonderful year. We've been blessed.
Wishing you all the best in
Yes.
2026.
Yes, you
we
as
can't
well.
wait to see you on that first Friday. Except it's not going to be that first Friday, on that second Friday, because this is coming out that same week. But next week, Friday, we will see you guys. It's going to be a little bit of a break for us, but not really, because we're still on our same recording schedule. It's just that this episode is coming out a little bit early, right? So
Yes.
don't be
And thanks,
a stranger.
Kwesi, for doing
Keep
that.
tuning in. We love you guys. Happy holidays if you're still celebrating. I don't know. I think Kwanzaa and Hanukkah are still going on. I really don't know how it works. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit uneducated on those holidays, as I only celebrate Christmas.
Same.
But
Yeah.
if you guys are celebrating anything, birthdays, if you have a birthday this month, I know my brother's birthday is the 31st. So happy birthday to my little brother. Shout out to him. And anybody else who has a birthday sometime this month.
Yes, absolutely.
We're just yapping now. We're just kind of
We really
stealing
are.
you guys'
It's okay,
time,
though.
so.
It's fine. Well, Happy New Year to
Can't
everybody,
wait to see
for
you
sure.
guys. Happy
Yes.
New Year.
Yes.
Should I? Actually, I probably can't end with like Old Lang Syne. I think I should see if like the Old Lang Syne sound or the song is copyright free, and then if it is, you guys will hear it right here.
Yes.
But,
we'll try.
Here's to happy 2026.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Once again, made this year wonderful. We hope that we had this, we made a wonderful experience for you guys. And we have, like I said, we have lots of plans for 2026 to enhance this show. Yes. Thanks again. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2026 next.
All right. Bye, guys.